She threw the wine glass at my head. It shattered against the wall behind me, red wine dripping down like blood. The entire restaurant went silent. Every table. Every waiter. Every guest. All staring. And she smiled. That cold, satisfied smile that said, I own this place. I own these people. And now I own you too. But she was wrong. Because I wasn't like the others. I wasn't afraid of her. And by the end of the night, I would be the one holding the power. My name is Adana. I'm a 27-year-old Nigerian-American woman. 3 months ago, I lost my investigative journalism job at a newspaper in Atlanta, Georgia. Bills were piling up. My student loans were crushing me. My family back in Lagos, Nigeria was depending on the money I sent home every month. So when I saw a waitress position at Le Summit, the most exclusive restaurant in Midtown Manhattan, New York, I applied. The pay was good. The tips were supposed to be incredible. What they didn't mention in the job posting was her. Jennifer Park. The wife of Korean tech billionaire Kang Min-jae. And the most feared woman in Manhattan's restaurant scene. Before I tell you how I destroyed her reign of terror, how I exposed the secret she'd hidden for 20 years, and how I ended up married to her husband, you need to subscribe to Afro-Korean Love Stories right now. Because bestie, this story has everything. Power. Secrets. Justice. And the most unexpected love story you've ever heard. Hit subscribe if you've ever stood up to a bully. If you've ever exposed a liar. If you believe courage can change everything. Because mine did. My first day at Le Summit, the manager pulled me aside. His name was Marcus. 30 years in high-end service. And he looked terrified. I need to warn you about Mrs. Park, he said. The owner's wife? Yes. She comes in 3 times a week. Always at 7 p.m. Always sits at table 12. And she will test you. Push you. Try to break you. He paused. 23 servers have quit because of her in the past 2 years. 5 were fired because she complained. She's destroyed careers. Ruined reputations. All because she can. Why does the owner let her do this? Mr. Park? He's a good man. Quiet. Kind. But trapped. She controls everything. His image. His social circle. His business connections through her family. He can't leave without losing everything. So everyone just lets her terrorize people? Marcus looked away. We have to. She has that much power. I should have quit right then. But I needed the money. And something in me, that investigative instinct I'd honed as a journalist, it woke up. I wanted to understand this woman. What made her so cruel? What was she protecting? I didn't know yet that asking those questions would change everything. My first encounter with Jennifer Park happened on my 3rd shift. Friday night. Restaurant packed. She arrived exactly at 7 p.m. Blonde hair pulled back tight. Designer dress. Diamonds that probably cost more than my entire life. And her husband beside her. Kang Min-jae. Early 40s. Handsome in that quiet, sad way. He looked exhausted. Defeated. They sat at table 12. I was assigned to them. Water, Jennifer snapped without looking at me. Still. No ice. Lemon on the side. Of course, ma'am. I brought the water. Placed it carefully. She took one sip. Then looked at me for the first time. This has ice particles in it. Did I not specify no ice? I apologize. I'll bring you a fresh glass immediately. You'll bring me a fresh bottle. Unopened. So I know you didn't just fish the ice out and bring me the same glass. Yes, ma'am. I brought an unopened bottle. Poured it at the table. She took another sip. Smiled. This is tap water. I can taste it. Do you think I'm stupid? Ma'am, that's Evian. The bottle was sealed. Are you calling me a liar? The restaurant went quiet. Other tables watching. Min-jae sat there, eyes down, saying nothing. No ma'am. I'll get you another bottle. Don't bother. You've ruined my evening already. She turned to Marcus, who'd rushed over. I want her fired. Tonight. Marcus tried to smooth it over. But she was relentless. He pulled me aside after they left. I'm sorry, Adana. I have to let you go. For bringing her sealed bottled water? She's already called Mr. Park. He's calling the owner. I have no choice. That's when something clicked. This wasn't about water. This was about power. About breaking people. About proving she could. Give me 1 week, I said. If she complains again, I'll go quietly. But give me 1 week. Marcus hesitated. You're not afraid of her, are you? I'm afraid of not paying my rent. But no. I'm not afraid of her. He gave me the week. And I spent it doing what I do best. Investigating. I started with social media. Jennifer Park's Instagram was perfect. Charity galas. Museum openings. Elite social circles. But it only went back 7 years. Before that? Nothing. I searched her name. Found society pages mentioning her marriage to Min-jae 10 years ago. But nothing before that. No college. No family. No history. That's when I knew. She'd erased her past. And people only do that when they're hiding something big. I called an old journalism contact in Chicago. Asked him to run Jennifer Park through every database he had access to. 3 days later, he called back. Jennifer Park doesn't exist before 2014. But I found something. A reality TV contestant from 2012. British show called Essex Dreams. Girl named Vicky Brightwell. From Manchester. Working class. Went on the show to get famous. Had a breakdown on camera. Look familiar? He sent me a screenshot. And my jaw dropped. It was her. 20 pounds heavier. Different nose. But the same eyes. The same cruel smile. Jennifer Park was Vicky Brightwell. And she'd built her entire life on a lie. The next time she came in, I was ready. She sat at table 12. Min-jae beside her, looking more miserable than ever. Water, she snapped. I brought it. She took a sip. Here we go. This tastes like chemicals. Are you trying to poison me? The restaurant went quiet again. But this time I didn't apologize. I smiled. I'm sorry you feel that way, Mrs. Park. Or should I say, Ms. Brightwell? Her face went white. Min-jae looked up, confused. What did you just say? Vicky Brightwell. From Manchester. Essex Dreams, 2012. You were on reality TV before you became Mrs. Park. Before the nose job. Before the accent coaching. Before you erased everything about who you really were. You have no idea what you're talking about. I pulled out my phone. Showed her the screenshot. Her, crying on reality TV. Her real accent. Her real background. I have the full episode downloaded, I said quietly. And I have a contact at page 6 who would love this story. The fake socialite who's been terrorizing Manhattan's restaurant scene. The working class girl from Manchester who pretended to be elite. Her hands were shaking. You wouldn't dare. Try me. Keep tormenting people. Keep destroying lives. And I'll make sure everyone knows who you really are. Min-jae was staring at his wife. At this woman he'd been married to for 10 years. Seeing her for the first time. Is this true? He asked in Korean. She stood up. grabbed her purse. "This isn't over," she hissed at me. But it was. And she knew it. The next time she came in, I was ready. She sat at table 12. Min-jae beside her, looking more miserable than ever. "Water," she snapped. I brought it. She took a sip. "Here we go. This tastes like chemicals. Are you trying to poison me?" The restaurant went quiet again. But this time I didn't apologize. I smiled. "I'm sorry you feel that way, Mrs. Park. Or should I say, Ms. Brightwell?" Her face went white. Min-jae looked up, confused. "What did you just say?" "Vicky Brightwell. From Manchester. Essex Dreams, 2012. You were on reality TV before you became Mrs. Park. Before the nose job. Before the accent coaching. Before you erased everything about who you really were. You have no idea what you're talking about." I pulled out my phone. Showed her the screenshot. Her, crying on reality TV. Her real accent. Her real background. "I have the full episode downloaded," I said quietly. "And I have a contact at page 6 who would love this story. The fake socialite who's been terrorizing Manhattan's restaurant scene. The working-class girl from Manchester who pretended to be elite." Her hands were shaking. "You wouldn't dare. Try me. Keep tormenting people. Keep destroying lives. And I'll make sure everyone knows who you really are." Min-jae was staring at his wife. At this woman he'd been married to for 10 years. Seeing her for the first time. "Is this true?" he asked in Korean. She stood up. Grabbed her purse. "This isn't over," she hissed at me. But it was. And she knew it. Jennifer never came back to Lou Summit. Within a week, word spread through Manhattan's elite circles. Not because I exposed her. But because Min-jae did. He filed for divorce. Cited fraud in the marriage contract. She'd lied about her background, her education, everything. His lawyers moved fast. She signed papers within a month, took a settlement, and disappeared. I found out later she moved to Dubai. Started over again. Maybe she learned something. Probably not. But something unexpected happened after she left. Min-jae came back to the restaurant. Alone. And he asked for me. Marcus brought me to table 12. Min-jae stood when I approached. "Please, sit," he said. His English was perfect but soft. Gentle. "Mr. Park, I shouldn't. Please. I need to thank you properly." I sat. He poured tea. "For 10 years, he began, I've been trapped." She had evidence of some early business dealings. Nothing illegal, but embarrassing. She threatened to expose me if I ever left. I stayed because I thought I had no choice. And I watched her destroy people. Hurt people. And I said nothing. He looked at me. "I'm ashamed. You were a victim too. I was a coward. But you? You were brave. You didn't owe these people anything. You could have walked away. But you stood up. For everyone." He paused. "Who are you, Adana?" "Really?" I told him the truth. About losing my journalism job in Atlanta. About my family in Lagos depending on me. About taking the waitress job just to survive. He listened like listening was an art form. When I finished, he said something that changed everything. "I want to offer you a job. Not as a waitress. As an investigator for my company. We handle corporate fraud, background checks, security. Someone with your skills, your courage? You'd be extraordinary." "Mr. Park, I can't accept that." "Why not?" "Because it feels like charity. Like you're just trying to thank me." "It's not charity. It's recognition. You have a gift. You used it for good. Let me help you use it more." He smiled slightly. And please, call me Min Jae. I took the job. Started the next month. Moved into a better apartment in Brooklyn. Sent more money home to Lagos. My parents were thriving. My younger sisters were in better schools. But something else was happening. Something I didn't expect. Min Jae and I kept running into each other. Not just at work. Coffee shops. Bookstores. Museums. At first I thought it was coincidence. Then I realized he was seeking me out. And I was letting him find me. 3 months after Jennifer left, he asked me to dinner. Not as boss and employee. As something else. I know this is complicated, he said. I'm your employer. I'm recently divorced. I'm older than you. But I can't stop thinking about you. Your strength. Your integrity. The way you see the world. He looked directly at me. I'm falling for you, Adana. And I needed to tell you. I should have said no. Should have kept it professional. But I didn't. Because somewhere between exposing his ex-wife and working beside him, I'd fallen too. For his quiet kindness. His generosity to his staff. The way he'd completely changed his life after being freed from Jennifer. We started dating in secret. Then not so secret. His family in Seoul was skeptical at first. A Nigerian-American woman? So soon after divorce? But when his mother visited from Seoul, South Korea, and met me, she cried. She held my hands and said through a translator, "You saved my son. You gave him his life back. You are family." 6 months after our first date, Min Jae proposed. Not at some fancy restaurant. At Le Summit. Table 12. Where everything had started. You faced down your fear at this table, he said. You changed my life at this table. Now I'm asking you to change it again. Marry me. I said yes. Obviously. We married 3 months later. Small ceremony. His family from Seoul. My family from Lagos and Atlanta. 2 cultures. 2 languages. 1 love. And Min Jae kept his promises. He sponsored my parents' immigration. Helped my sisters get into university in New York. Invested in my cousin's business in Lagos. He didn't just marry me. He embraced my entire world. Today, I run the investigations division of his company. We've exposed 3 corporate frauds. Helped 24 families get justice. And I mentor young women who want to get into investigative work. People ask me all the time. Wasn't it scary? Standing up to someone that powerful? Weren't you afraid she'd destroy you? And I tell them the truth. I was terrified. But I was more afraid of becoming someone who looked away. Someone who let bullies win because fighting back was risky. Jennifer Park built her entire life on a lie. On intimidation. On making people too afraid to question her. And it worked. 4 years. Until someone finally called her bluff. But here's what I learned. The people who scream the loudest about their power? They're usually the most afraid. Because deep down, they know they don't deserve it. They know it's all performance. And the second someone refuses to perform back, the whole thing crumbles. Min Jae told me once that he knew Jennifer was toxic from the beginning. But he was young. Naive. Impressed by her confidence. By the time he realized what she really was, she had leverage. Control. And he felt stuck. Love shouldn't make you feel stuck, he said. Real love makes you feel free. The way I feel with you. That's what we built. Freedom. Partnership. Respect. We've been married 2 years now. And every time we go to Le Summit, we sit at table 12. The staff knows. They bring us wine and smile. Because that table isn't a place of terror anymore. It's a place where courage changed everything. So bestie, let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where everyone was afraid to speak up? Where someone was abusing their power and everyone just accepted it as normal? What did you do? Did you speak up? Or did you stay quiet? And here's the bigger question. If you stayed quiet, do you wish you'd been brave? Do you wish you'd been the one to say enough? I want you to comment below and answer these questions honestly. 1. Have you ever stood up to someone powerful? What happened? 2. Do you believe in investigating people who seem too perfect? Or is that wrong? 3. What city or country are you watching from? I want to see how far this story reached. Drop your location. 4. Would you have done what I did? Exposed Jennifer? Or would you have just quit and walked away? If this story made you believe that courage matters, that standing up to bullies changes things, that one person can make a difference, then subscribe to Afro-Korean Love Stories right now. We tell stories about Black women and Korean men finding love in unexpected ways. But more than that, we tell stories about courage. About justice. About refusing to accept that power means cruelty. Comment courage over fear if you stayed until the end and this story meant something to you. And remember, bestie, the bullies in your life? They're only powerful because people are afraid. But the second one person stops being afraid, the second one person stands up and says no more, everything changes. Jennifer Park ruled with fear for years. But one waitress with courage ended it all. And found love in the process. You have that same courage inside you. You just have to choose to use it. This is Adana Kong, signing off from Afro-Korean Love Stories. May you always choose courage. May you always expose the liars. And may love find you when you're being your bravest self.